and welcome to my little bookish corner of the internet. My name's Harriet. Today I'm going to be sharing my June TBR with you, so the books that I would like to read in the month of June. I haven't put too many on here because I end up disappointing myself if I don't read the ones that I put on there. And to be honest, I change my mind constantly because I'm always buying new books or very gratefully getting books given to me. So I'm going to keep this quite short with only a couple of main books that I'd really like to get to this month. So let's get started. We have got a couple of repeats before we get started on this, so I apologise. But really by this point, are any of you surprised? We actually just went to the Natural History Museum. So me and my partner went, and he mentioned that he thinks he's ready to finally start our buddy read of Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. This is the brief history of humankind. I've spoken about this loads on my channel. It is a non-fiction book and it's got pictures in there. It just honestly looks incredible and really informative, and I'm really in the mood to learn at the moment, anything educational. So I'm excited to finally start this. Hopefully it will happen this month. At this point, if he doesn't hurry up and decide that he wants to read this, I'll be reading it by myself. And then this is the other repeat, and that is The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. I love this author, but I have only read a couple of her books, so this month will be the start of me reading more of her works. The Dispossessed and The Left Hand of Darkness are two books that I feel like most people know when they think of Ursula Le Guin. They're the ones they think of. But this just sounds really interesting. I don't completely know what it's about, but we are following someone who is attempting to find a new theory of time, and there are people who are jealous of his work and will do anything to block him. So he leaves his homeland, but finds himself being used as a pawn in a deadly political game. Again, really no idea what this is about, but I feel like I'm just going to get sucked in, and the characters are probably just going to be incredible. So I think this is the one that I want to start with this month. And I mean, the cover is just stunning. So yeah, hopefully I enjoy this. I'm sure I'll do a review on it. Another book I would really love to read is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've showed off this edition before because it's just stunning. But it's illustrated, it's got all of the maps, and this is just a classic. I really enjoyed reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so it is high time that I get started on this one and give it a little go. It's quite short, and I believe it was written as a children's novel, so I don't think it will take me too long to read. And then you probably know by now that I'm getting through the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. So I'm going to get on to the third book. This is part 1, Steel and Snow. So the third book is split into 2, as is the 5th book, I believe. And yeah, I just cannot wait to get back into this world. All of these books are really interesting. There's a lot of political intrigue, and there are more fantasy elements in here as we go along, which is really great. That's something that I'm really enjoying. And just the way that George R.R. Martin writes, it's not until I stop reading this and read something of a different genre or a different author that I really begin to appreciate how incredible his writing is and how immersive these books are. And just, they look really scary because they're really big, but there is like no filler in here. All of this is relevant to the story and pushing it forwards and helping with the characters. So yeah, I really want to read this. And then really the only other book that I would like to get to this month is Lavinia, again by Ursula Le Guin. I picked this up when I went to the museum, not from the museum obviously. We went to Waterstones and I looked up which ones had these in stock. So we went there. I don't know an awful lot about this, so I'll read the synopsis. Our Coke spilt in our bag, so if you can see a little stain, the book is already stained, which is a little bit frustrating, but I mean, I'm probably going to destroy it anyway because if it's anything like her other books, I'm going to reread it loads. Anyway, the synopsis. By the sacred springs in the forest near her home, Lavinia, young princess of Latium, encounters a poet, a soothsayer, who foretells her future to marry a Trojan hero named Aeneas and found a great kingdom and a mighty dynasty. Lavinia's mother has other plans, to marry her daughter off to an ambitious neighbouring king, and her father is plagued with indecision. But when a fleet of foreign warships sails into the mouth of the river Tiber, Lavinia knows her destiny is calling. So it sounds like this is going to be a Trojan novel, maybe with some romance in there and some adventure and things like that. So I'm definitely excited to start reading this and see what it's all about. I've not really read any historical fiction, especially not ones that don't have like fantasy in there or anything like that. So I think this will be a good way for me to get into that, because I do want to read The Silence of the Girls, I'm by no means saying these are similar books, but maybe this can be a stepping stone. So yeah, those are all the books that I'd like to read in the month of June. Let me know down below what books you're most looking forward to, and if any of the books I've mentioned are on your TBR or they're ones that you want to read. But that is it from me today. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!